Okay, here we are at Boundary Peak. I would say we're at the trailhead, but we're not quite at the trailhead. The trailhead is up there. And this road to get here is just, it's brutal. It's really bad. A week ago, I tried to come up here, and the first mile on the road, I popped a tire on my car and had to turn around, put on a spare and turn around and go back. The weather's been bad since then. Today's a good weather day. I'm going to go try it again. I can't get to the trailhead in my car. Relatively high ground clearance for a passenger vehicle, but it's still, man, it's white knuckle, dicey as hell getting up here. So, as many people have recommended in trip reports for Boundary Peak, I have stopped here at this flat spot, and I'm going to add that few hundred feet of vertical and another half mile to my hike to spare my vehicle. And I think most sane people would do the same thing unless you have a really high clearance Jeep or something like that. Anyway, it's, I don't know, 6:30 in the morning, low 40s. It's supposed to be a beautiful day, and we're going to get started. Here's an abandoned mine at the flat spot in the road. I think we're about 5 to 6 miles up from Highway 6. Way out there in the valley, that's Highway 6. It's probably 6 or 7 miles away. And I've just started up the road from where I parked my car down there on the flat spot. As it turns out, only about the first 100 yards or so of this road was really bad. And so far the rest of it has been good. It's probably drivable. I probably could have made it up here just fine. I don't know. We'll see how the rest of the road looks. We're a little above 9,000 feet at this point. Boundary Peak, even though it's the highest peak in Nevada, it's a pretty obscure mountain. It's not a high traffic mountain. I really, truly expected to be here all by myself all day long. But lo and behold, I just spotted another car making its way up the road to the trailhead. So I am not the only idiot out here to climb this mountain, to take on this terrible road to climb this mountain. It looks like I will have a little bit of company today. Well, here I am hoofing up to the real trailhead. Those two guys in the white Jeep came by me, offered me a ride, but you know, it looked like it would kind of be a hassle to squeeze me into the back of the Jeep there, so I just said, go ahead, I'll walk. And so after that hairpin turn, there's about another quarter mile up there till I'm at the real trailhead. I've gone about 6/10 of a mile from my car so far. So this will add probably an extra mile each way to the hike. And I'm guessing about 400 feet of vertical. I don't know. I'll report when I get there. Okay, so here we are pretty much to the real trailhead. Not quite exactly, but pretty close. So when we last talked, that white Jeep was headed up to that hairpin turn down at the end of this road. Right here, there's a much shorter but much steeper option to cut some distance off the path to get up here. So I took the shorter, steeper way. And let me check the stats here real quick. So my Garmin is telling me 685 feet of gain from where I parked the car down there at the mine to right here. And it's exactly 1 mile. Probably, my watch is a little inaccurate, so it's probably a little less than a mile. let's call it 9/10, and not quite 700 feet from where I parked. So a really good pre-climb workout. I'm all sweaty and my nose is running, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. So right up here into the blinding sun is the trailhead, and the trail goes right up there. So that's where we're going next. Okay, we're now at about, I say we, it's just me, about 10,600 feet right here. You can see the trail down there. Trailhead is down in the saddle between these two peaks here. So down in there. Probably come up the trail from the real trailhead, not quite a mile, I would say. The car is way down there. You might be able to see a shiny thing right down in there. That's somebody else's car. That's not my car. I'm further down in that shadow area right there. That's where my car is parked. So from my car to here, it's been about 1,600 feet of climbing and almost 2 miles. So that's where we are. Up ahead of me, there's the two guys in the white Jeep that passed me coming up the road. Nice guys, one from LA and one from Atlanta. And then there's a whole minivan full of 6 guys from Indiana. And they're doing very similar to what I'm doing. They're going around from state to state, peak bagging, hitting the highest peak in various states. So they've done some of the same peaks I have. So we spent quite a bit of time at the trailhead between them and the two guys in the white Jeep chit-chatting about our various peaks, because that's what we're all doing. We're all just peak baggers looking for the highest place to go in each state. And yeah, the guys in the minivan, they came up. There's a trailhead on the east side here. And that takes you to a trail that goes up a really terrible scree slope. And they tried that late in the day yesterday, and they didn't get very far. They said it about 10,800 feet late in the day before they turned around. The scree field was not good, and they were going to encounter darkness, so they called it a day. So they're up here again today, trying again. And I'm feeling good. It's a beautiful day. And we're going to keep going. We got, not quite 3,000 feet to go. Probably 3 miles. Okay, now we're just maybe 100 vertical feet up from where I last reported. And this is, we've made the ridge line here. And we're finally getting our first look at the peak. So this peak on the right, this lower one right there, I believe that's Hosebag Peak, and Boundary Peak should be that guy right up there. And then further on the other side, actually a couple of 100 feet higher than Boundary Peak is Montgomery Peak. But Montgomery is over the state line into California. So Boundary Peak here is still the highest point in Nevada. Quick look around. Looking east into Nevada. It's down the ridge line. Out there in that valley is Highway 6 that goes between Bishop and Tonopah. And I guess the Queen's Mine trailhead is down here somewhere. You can see a dirt road way down there on the bottom. So there's a trailhead down here that comes up this valley. And I think it goes up the scree field up to the right there. So I think that's the one that everybody pretty much universally agrees is a really terrible experience, that you don't want to go up or down that route. And Yeah, from here it doesn't look like too much fun. This normal trail along the ridge line here up via Hosebag is probably the best way to go, I would think. All right, onward. Okay, so now we're at 10,800 feet. Just basically traversing this long ridge line. The trail's pretty steady, pretty flat, not going uphill much at all. Probably only gained 200 feet in the last, half mile or so. Nice and gentle. Looks like Hosebag though. Looks like the trail up to the top of Hosebag is going to be kind of a beast. It doesn't look very easy at all. I can see the beginnings of the trail down there in the saddle, and they go up towards the right there. So I'm hoping there's some pretty good switchbacks and it's not as bad as it looks from here. Got my eyes open for the 8 or 10 guys who are in front of me, so I can kind of see where they're going. But yeah, it looks like that's going to be a tough part of the hike to get up to the top of that, and then scooch over to Boundary Peak. Still a beautiful day though. Okay, now so almost to the saddle to go up Hosebag, and I am now seeing the guys that are in front of me. They're pretty fast hikers. They're a good quarter mile or so ahead of me. They're right there in the saddle, going up that first steep trail on the saddle. And the whole trail up here looks very tough. So we'll see how that goes. I'm sure that's going to be kind of a slog. Okay, so now this is the saddle between this small peak here, which I don't believe has a name, and a much larger peak over here, which I'm pretty sure is Hosebag. And yeah, the level of difficulty to climb Hosebag is a little bit more than I expected, but usually it looks harder than it really is, so we'll give it a go and see what happens. I believe the trail goes up there and then goes around to the right side, and it's probably more friendly looking over on that west side of the mountain. That's my hope anyway. Anyway, it's pretty cool up here. Getting to see some of the unique geology of the area. Kind of cool to just walk around and see it. It's just different. I haven't seen anybody behind me. I'm probably the last guy up here today. Unless there's some really late starters, I don't know. We'll see. And in terms of elevation, boy, over the last, I don't know, since that ridge over there, half mile, 3/4 of a mile, whatever, I haven't really gained any elevation at all. We're still at 10,800 feet, give or take. So now we're well over halfway finished with the hike in terms of mileage, but in terms of elevation, we still have about 2,500 feet to go. So the last half, or the last couple of miles here, I think are going to be pretty tough. All right. Okay, a couple hundred feet up Hosebag now. And originally we thought the trail might go around the west side of the mountain. I'm finding that it actually does not. If you can look up on the ridge line there, you might see a hiker up drainage is, the wind is just coming up this drainage like crazy. It's a very, very, very cold wind. So I get up to that ridge, and this wind. Well, it's a little bit steep. At least I'm on this side of the ridge now and a little bit out of the wind. So I can warm up a little bit. There's that pile of rocks that branches down in the saddle. Come most of the way up Hoseback by now. Cold wind blowing. See the terrain here. This is going to be absolutely no fun whatsoever on the way down. Steep and slippery. Okay, so the trail up to the top of Hoseback Peak, it did end up going around to the kind of the west side, but not until near the very top. So that's where I am now, to where the trail reaches a saddle just below. We are 12,200 feet, a little over 1,000 feet to go. I think we're about to lose the trail. I think it just goes up this ridge line, and I think it's just going to be a scramble. I believe that high point right there is the summit. I hope it's not a false summit. I'm 90% sure it's the summit. I can see some of the guys that ahead of me up in this area. So they're making good time. The wind seems a little calmer up here. I'm hoping that stays because it's a very cold wind. I'm just taking a little break here before I start up that ridge. Something is happening over there. Not quite sure what it is, but there's been 3 series of really deep rumbling noises, like earthquake, volcano, landslide. I don't know what it is. There's a big plume of something. You might have heard that. But whatever's going on, we can hear it way over here. I'm guessing it's a landslide of some sort. pretty big one. If it was an earthquake, I think we probably would have felt something over here. But nothing's moving over here. That plume is not a cloud and has gotten more rumbling. That plume has gotten very large. Well, I'm guessing landslide, big one. I hope everybody's okay over there. Almost there, which is a good thing because I'm tired and the altitude's wearing me out. There's a couple guys on their way down, right down there. There's a couple guys up near the top on their way down, but I can't see them right at this moment. Not really any trail through here, it's just kind of pick your way through the rocks. Make your own way. But, you know, it's right there. Another 3/10 of a mile maybe. Alright, been rock hopping for quite a while now. And hopefully that's the summit right there. It's so close. I am so tired though. Woohoo! It is not a false summit. It is the real summit. We are here. Finally. Right in the middle of this saddle, more or less, is the Nevada-California state line. That's Mount Montgomery over there, or Montgomery Peak, I believe. A couple 100 feet higher than Wheeler here. Boundary. A little bit higher. Some people go over there. It's about 3 or 4/10 of a mile. From the bottom of the saddle, it's 2 or 300 foot climb. And I originally thought I might like to do that, but with the extra climb from the car and everything, I am running well behind schedule. And I don't have an extra hour really to go do that. I don't want to be pushing daylight going down the mountain. All right, let's see what Mr. Garmin says. It says 13,104 feet. I think that's a little low. 5.94 miles one way from the car. That's probably a little high. Does the benchmark say how high this thing is? Nope, it doesn't. I think the topo maps have it as 13,200, 13,300, somewhere in there. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head. It's a gorgeous day. It is beautiful. The cold wind has stopped. So I'm sure I'll encounter it in a couple of places on the way down, but that's okay. I can move much faster on the way down. Man, it's just a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm so happy to be up here. That was hard work though. That was really, really tough. But that long flat stretch across the ridge down there, I'm going to enjoy that on the way back to the car. All right, get googly. It's almost 2 p.m. So definitely time to start heading down. Just signed the summit register. Had a nice look around. Like I say, it's a beautiful day. Unlimited visibility today. I can see, I don't know, 70, 80 miles probably. Very nice. But yeah, definitely time to head down. So I'm going to get on it and get heading down. Well, it's a very tense descent all the way down along the flanks here. A lot of boulder hopping, a lot of loose sandy grit, a lot of rocks that move under your feet. Very sketchy, not a fun descent at all. Got a bit of easy hiking for a little bit here, and once I start down that steep hose bag peak, that'll be dicey again for another 800 feet or so. Then I get on that nice flat spot down there. Be able to cruise back down to the trailhead. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, now I'm at the saddle below the peak of Hosebag Peak. So I just need to make my way down the slopes here, down to the trail. This will be the last difficult part of this hike. Hopefully I can knock this out in 20 minutes or so and get back on the easy trail back to the car. I think maybe I can make it back to the car in another hour and a half or so. That'd be awesome. Alright, well, it's been 20 minutes coming down this section. Steep section. And I haven't quite made it to the bottom as predicted, but I don't know. 10 or 15 minutes I should be down there. So yeah, lots of scree coming down, lots of crappy footing. I did take a fall, fell on my butt, which is not too surprising because it's kitty little scree all over the place. And when you fall on your butt, your instinct is to kind of stick out your hands and catch yourself. And I did that. It hit some fairly sharp rocks, you know, so. So you might want to, I don't know, learn from my mistake and wear gloves or something. Anyway, tiny little bit of uphill there, and a long flat section all along that ridge, more or less flat. And then it's just a mile down the road to my car. Oh, that looks like a lot of uphill up there for my tired rubbery legs. Yeah, well. I'm never going to get off this ridge. It just keeps going and going. Every time I get to a point where I think I'm going to start down to the trailhead, a whole new vista opens up. And it's the ridge that just keeps going and going and going. So that little point up there, will that be the end of the ridge? I don't know. but I'm ready to be off this ridge. Okay, long ridge trail that went on forever. Goodbye. This is where we start down from the ridge. There's the saddle where the trailhead is there. My car's down in there somewhere, hopefully. You know, for this hike today, I was full of self-doubt. I mean, look at that. That trail up hose bag, that ridge line, the whole way up. I had all this self-doubt. I didn't know if I could do it. It was very difficult. But you know, it's kind of like AA. Instead of one day at a time, it's one step at a time. So that's what I did. I just kept taking one step at a time, and even though I'm clearly the slowest guy on the mountain today, I'm also the oldest guy on the mountain today. But even though I didn't set any speed records, I got there. So I'm pretty damn pleased with the whole thing. Okay, I finally made it back down to the trailhead area. Sitting on a rock and give my feet a little rest before that last mile down the road to the car. Been hiking almost 10 hours, so I'm pretty tired. I'll be glad to be done. This road is horrible. Whew.